Chairs No Waiting, episode number 725, Singing in Mayberry. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Drop by over at Weavers and, hey, pick up a barbershop hairstyle print. That's right, just like Floyd had hanging on his wall. Well, almost just like it. It's definitely close enough. Head over to Weavers and you can get one to hang on your own wall and maybe even get Floyd to cut your hair. Oh, yeah, I do that for you. Hey, while you're there, you might want to check out some of the T-shirts and all kinds of other special items they got over at Weavers, because it's that time of year. Head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producers of episode number 725 are Larry and Ann Granger. Thank you very much. And the Patreon patron of the week for 725 is Cody Sloan. So thank you, Cody. Thank you all for supporting the podcast, and especially thank those who donate and become executive producers or through Patreon to become Patreon patrons of the week as well. So thank you all for supporting the podcast. Wow, it's 725 episodes. That's kind of a milestone, I guess, when you get to the 25s. Once you get up above you get up to 700. Should you count the 25s? I don't know, but but this was a big deal. So this week I was running through a bunch of digitized film that I'd done. So I've been digitizing old tapes and things that I have. And so I've been doing that, and I wanted to bring some of that to you. And did I say who I am? I'm Alan Newsom, the host of Two Chairs No Waiting, and it's always great to be here in Mayberry with you. And digitizing these tapes, I've been able to watch them on my computer and go back and just remember these wonderful events. And I started thinking that unless you were fortunate enough to be able to be at an event these in particular were in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, unless you were lucky enough to have been there, you would not have seen this, right? Because it's never been broadcast. There's nothing like that. And I named this episode Singing in Mayberry because what I ran across was a series of videos. Two of them I'm going to show you are from Mayberry Days. It was from Colonel Tim's, the talent show that we do on Saturday night, to wrap up the week of Mayberry Days at Colonel Tim's. And this was in the early 2000s, probably, I'm not sure what year, 2000, 2001. It had to have been somewhere in that range. I don't know what year it was, and maybe some of you sleuths will be able to remind me, because at Mayberry Days that year we had the two guests that were there were Betty Lynn and Howard Morris. And of course, Maggie Peterson was there too. There was others there, but this particular year, these two actually sang. Maggie did too, but we're not going to listen. We're not going to hear from Maggie tonight, probably in upcoming weeks, but they actually sang. So there was singing going on in Mayberry, and I wanted to share that with you. So without me talking anymore, I'm going to throw you to Mount Airy, North Carolina, sometime in the early 2000s for Colonel Tim's during Mayberry Days. And David Browning, the Mayberry deputy, is the host or MC of the Colonel Tim show. And we will join him and hear from him as he introduces our special guest. Oh, I should say, if you're listening to the podcast only, if it's audio only, I think you're going to enjoy it, and I will do a little bit of voiceover on things, but this might be an episode you would like to watch the video version of this episode. And you can head over to twochairsnowaiting.com and look for episode number 725, and you should be able to find the video right there and be able to watch it. So without further ado, let's head over to David Browning. So take it away, David.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my great pleasures in life is you see how I'm dressed, representing that great character that Don Knotts created is a true pleasure in my life. It's one of the things I wake up for every day. And one of those elements is that on occasion, you get to work with those people from the show. And I can't begin to tell you what a great pleasure it's been in my life and the life of my family to know this lady. Please welcome the the greatest gal in the world, Thelma Lou, Miss Betty Lynn.
Hi out there. I think I was ignoring you. I'm not. It's so nice you're all here. We have such a great time here in Mayberry for Mayberry Days. And being with all of you and how happy you always look makes us happy too. You seem so glad to see us and tell us how we've been such a part of your life, that you grew up with us, and your children will grow up with us, and their children, I hope, will grow up with us. And you'll enjoy that show, that wonderful Andy Griffith show, for a long, long time to come. I thought maybe I'd try to sing a little number. Phyllis is kind enough to play for me. And if I can get my breath a bit, I will try to wear a flint for you. Like this before, we looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when. Have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when.
So for those just watching, Betty leaves the stage, and the crowd just continued to applause for her. And we brought her back out to take another bow. She loved all the Mayberry fans so much. She did so much for us over the years. She was always so happy that the fans loved her back as much as they did. So, wow. Anyway, so I definitely wanted to make sure you guys saw that. We have another clip that's coming up that I hope you'll enjoy just as much. Now, these videos, again, they're coming off of tape and being transferred. So if you're watching or if you're listening, the audio is as good as I could make it. And it turned out pretty well, I think. And it was just the audio, if you're watching the video, getting to see Betty singing doesn't really matter what it sounded like, does it? How special that was. Well, that same event, Howard Morris was there with us, and he was introduced by David Browning as well following Betty. So we're going to go hear him in just a second, but I want to say that during this video, if you're watching the video, there are times when the video flies around to be on the little boy. Well, that little boy is my son, Adam. That's why I know this must have been in the early 2000s, because he was born in like 96, you know. So I know size-wise he has to be this. But my wife was the videographer, and so evidently mothers and moms like to see their little boys reacting to Ernest T more than actually seeing Ernest T himself. So just bear in mind with us, but at least you'll be able to listen, and it only happens for a little while. This is longer than Betty's because he came out and spoke and did a lot more. So let's go over and hear from David Browning again as he introduces Howard Morris.
So warm. It's such a great example of what that show meant to us. Now there was a lot of great examples on the show of good, solid, living people. But you know, Mayberry had a lot of strange characters too, didn't it? Didn't it? I mean, Goober, Gone, that nut from up in the hills that threw the rocks. What was his name? He was around here somewhere today. I'm walking down the street wearing one shoe, and I said, Ernest T, did you lose a shoe? He said, found one. And he is a weird and strange character. I hope he don't. Ernest T, you're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah, I am.
What are you doing? Don't throw them rocks at people. You can't throw them rocks at people, Ernest T.
So I'll do a little voiceover here. Howard Morris always liked to come in from the back. So he would come in the back of the auditorium. So you'd see David Browning on stage, and he runs off and goes out into the audience. And Ernest T is talking about being tired, and he's going to take a seat. So he actually sits down in somebody's lap. So you'll hear people laugh in just a minute. You can't see this on the video because the camera was pointing toward the stage. That's when he decided to sit down in somebody's lap. And then Barney is making him get up and making him go to the stage here.
It's me, it's Ernest T. If I'd seen who was coming, I'd have known what to do. I'd have raised both arms and I'd have whooped at you. You like my new pants?
So let me explain. His pants have holes all in them.
Do you like them really? I just got them today for 99 cents. I just got them today for 99 cents. See if you're not on the line. Let me show you something. These pants are air conditioned. Look here.
So turn around.
And it's got a two-way airflow.
There's holes all in the back of his pants and the front.
You guys having a good time? Well, I'll soon take care of that. Where's my instrument? I need an instrument. I don't want a Stradivarius. That's a Russian instrument. This we call a Gassivarius.
That is funny, Mom.
I'm going to recite to you about old Aunt Marie. Okay? Now let me point something out. It was 40 years ago when I did this. I'm much older now. I'm guess you all know you go to the bathroom and you don't know what you went in for. Well, this is a recitation, if I can remember it, for old Aunt Mariah. Thank you very much. Hey, you're right in there. That's good. That's good. Let me see if I can get a rhythm going. Old Aunt Mariah, jump in the fire. Fire too hot. Jump in the pot. Hot too hot. Empty bang. Dum-diddy-dum-bum. Bum-bum. Despite your help, I blew it. Now what are you going to do? Should I start again? You're silly! All right, let me
No, I
see
used
if
to like that
Wait a
too.
minute. That's the lyrics written down. If I can figure out a way, okay? Old Aunt Mariah, jump in the fire. Fire too hot, jump in the pot. Pot too black, jump in the crack. Crack too high, jump in the sky. Sky too blue, jump in the canoe. Canoe too shallow, jump in the tower. Tower too soft, jump in the leads to the law. Loft is rotten, and I'm not saying what's going to happen, because I can't remember. I can't even read it. I'm going to finish it for you. Let's see. Jump in there. My brain ain't working too good tonight. Anyway.
It's okay, we love you.
Well, I love you too. That's very sweet. It leaves me. Here you go, pal. Be careful of it. It's very valuable. We love you, she said. That ain't nothing to what I feel for you guys. Mention my name, man. They'll give you a good seat. Can I get serious for a moment? I know I'm supposed to be a funny guy. I don't feel very funny right now about what I want to tell you. You as fans make my life work. The loyalty, the love, the attention, the confidentiality, all that stuff I get from you. And you have made the rear end of my life a better place to live. And I thank you. I know now that you all do want to go to the bathroom. I was quite serious about that sad story, which I just told. You make a big part of my life livable, and I thank you for that. Don't get up again. That's very sweet of you to give me such a tribute, and I thank you. Could I try to do a song for you?
That's just a little thing on the side.
Okay, we'll try to do this song, which I did in a Broadway show, and it stopped the show every night. That means it brought it to a standstill. With people getting up and having to go to the bathroom. Okay, here we go. Phyllis, please. Oh, my heart is beating wildly, and it's all because you're here. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. Every fan that flutters by me is a flame that must be fanned. When I can't fondle the hand I'm fondle, I fondle the hand. My heart's in a pickle, it's constantly fickle, and not to particle I fear. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. What if they're tall or tender? What if they're small and slender? Long as I get that gender, I surrender. Always I can't refuse 'em. Always my feet pursues 'em. As long as they've got a bosom, I lose 'em. I'm confessing a confession, and I hope it's not verbose. When I am not close to the face that I fancy the face I face. As I'm more and more a mortal, I am more and more a case. When I'm not facing the face that I fancy the face I face. For Sharon I'm caring, but Susan I'm choosing. I'm faithful to who's in his ear. When I'm not near the girl I love, this is the beat finish. I love the girl I'm near. The lady who played so well for me and covered my mistakes. This is Phyllis Eaton. I'll let you my little side secret. She happens to be the piano playing sister of Charlie. And I still got the hots to shout in. I'll say good night and thank you. God bless you.
So if you're actually watching, you see David Brandon shoes him off the stage, and he's still carrying around.
That's the sweetest nut in the world, isn't it?
So guys, that was very special. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will find out. We had some people in the chat room thinking it might have been 2002, but I will look that up and find out. I have got photo albums that I'll be able to look and see what they were wearing and figure out what year this was. But anyway, I just thought this was very special when I ran across both of these with them singing, and I wanted to be able to share it with you. I've got one more song. Now, this is not as special. It's not quite as special, but we do get to hear from the VW boys, who often play music for our background, for our trivia and everything, which we will hear if we play trivia in a few minutes. But this one is actually in Kingsport, Tennessee in 1999 is when this is. They have a song, Whatever Happened to Mayberry. And David Browning, the Mayberry deputy, normally performs it with them. And they sing the song. And then during the breaks, he says things like, he does voice speaking of the song in the song. He could not be at this event in Kingsport, so I was the host of the event, and Floyd, I got to sing with the VW boys. Okay, I didn't sing, I recited, I guess, and this was the only time I ever got to do this with those guys. So here it is. This is from 1999. It's not as special as the two you just saw, so that's why we're going toward the end. But I do appreciate the VW boys. This is the original VW boys with Larry McPeak, and Tim White, and oh my gosh, Dave Vaught. I almost went blank. And they allowed me to perform with them on stage. So let's go and check this out from Kingsport in 1999.
Folks, I guess the main reason we're here is we love the Andy Griffith Show. We really do. We all in this room know what television used to be and what it is today, and don't we wish there was more shows like the Andy Griffith Show on television today?
So that's Tim White speaking.
We're looking for Floyd. Where's Floyd? We need Floyd up here to help us on this song. We're going to wrap our portion of the show up with this song. We collaborated on this song about a year or so ago. We've got it on a CD and a cassette tape out here. And you know what collaborated means, Brian?
I'm sorry?
You know what collaborated means?
I don't know.
And yeah, that's what milk does when it gets bad. You're absolutely right.
That boy ain't right.
But we wrote this song together about our second favorite hometown. I guess our hometown's our favorite, but Mayberry's got to be a hometown to all of us. And this is a tune titled Whatever Happened to Mayberry.
Whatever happened to Mayberry, like the one they had on the TV, with Andy and Opie and Bart in AP. Whatever happened to Mayberry? Towns like that you just can't find. Any old map, just any old time. Friends help friends when they're in need. Whatever happened to Mayberry?
It's hot. 92. People always complaining about the weather. Nobody does anything about it. You know what he said there?
You can't find a town to stay in town. Sheriff with no gun, there's no crime. Where the jail's not locked, you come and go as you please. Whatever happened to Mayberry?
Hey, you see what's written on the sidewalk out there? It says Bobby Gribble hates him a lot. Now they're announcing their coming nuptials. She'll get even with him now.
The Darling boys would come to town. Briscoe's jug would make bluegrass sounds. Back on the truck when it's time to leave. Whatever happened to Mayberry? Hey, the goober, get a bottle of pop. Stop by Floyd's, get a little off the top. Not a window was safe round old Ernest T. Whatever happened to Mayberry? Whatever happened to Mayberry?
Look at the way he's looking at me. Oh, he knows me. He's mean. He knows I know.
Whatever happened to Mayberry? It's a place in our hearts called Mayberry.
That's good. You boys are good dancers. Light on your feet.
Have a nice round of applause once again for Floyd, our favorite barber.
Well, that was a real honor honor to get to sing or to do that with them. So that was a lot of fun. I don't know what the audio clipped out there toward the middle. Hopefully you could kind of hear it and it doesn't blow your ears out if you tried to turn your radio up or something. But that was a lot of fun. So thank you to Tim White and the VW Boys for letting me be a part of it. That song, we don't have that one at Weaver's right now. And again, it would be David Browning playing with them or singing with them. But we don't currently have that CD. So you can probably go to vwboys.com and look around there. They may have their CD there that has that on there as well. All right, guys, let's play. Speaking of the VW Boys, let's go and get some background music, and we will play a little bit of trivia, and then we'll start to head out of here. And I got a question for you guys that are still here at the end. So here we go with a little bit of Mayberry trivia. Question number 1, and that's the VW Boys in the background. They're playing. Question 1. Opie received an A on a paper he wrote about Andy. True or false? Opie received an A on a paper he wrote about Andy. True or false? All right, here comes the answer. Opie received an A on a paper he wrote about Andy. The answer is false. That is false. No, he did not. All right, question number 2. Opie wrote a paper about his most memorable character. Who was it? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to make you feel good. Opie wrote a paper about his most memorable character. Who was it? I don't think the answer's right on this card. All right, last one. Opie wrote a paper about his most memorable character. Who was it? The answer, according to this paper, is Andy, but that's not correct. The actual answer was Arnold's dad, Arnold Bailey's dad. So that'd be Dr. Bailey. Dr. Bailey. And I think Arnold wrote one about Andy, if I remember right. So, all right, so we got this correct. So it was Dr. Bailey. All right, number 3. What grade did Opie receive on the paper he wrote about his father? He didn't. So let's skip that one. We already know he didn't write one about his father, so this is really getting better. All right, let's see here. Number 3, let's do this one. What deputy caught an egg thrown by Barney? What deputy caught an egg thrown by Barney? Okay, was it Otis, Judd, Goober, or Gomer? What deputy caught an egg thrown by Barney? Okay. Yeah, the one he wrote about Andy got an F, by the way, though, that question. All right, so the answer is what deputy caught an egg thrown by Barney? It was Goober. Goober's got the egg. All right, what are we on? 3, 4. Number 4. This is true or false. Opie won a medal for the 50-yard dash. True or false? Opie won a medal for the 50-yard dash. True or false? It's easy. So last time, Opie won a medal for the 50-yard dash. The answer? False. False. That is not true. False. False. Okay, so I don't know. Surely, unless you just don't watch color episodes, you're going to know this one. Number 5. Number 5. What was Howard's last name? What was Howard's last name? Yeah, he was a real jerk about it. Somebody in the chat room said Opie was a real jerk. That's false, and he was a real jerk because somebody else got his medal. All right. What was Howard's last name? The answer? Sprague. Howard Sprague. All right, our next question, whatever the number is. What was Barney's nickname for winning the 50-yard dash as a youth? What was Barney's nickname for winning the 50-yard dash as a youth? I forgot about this one. All right, last read. What was Barney's nickname for winning the 50-yard dash when he was young, when he was a youth? His nickname was Barney the Rabbit. Are you kidding? Barney the Rabbit? All right. And our last question. Andy and Barney once tried to join what exclusive club? Andy and Barney once tried to join what exclusive club? All right, here we come. I'll give you multiple choice, but you should already know this. Andy and Barney once tried to join what exclusive club? Was it the Gold Club, the Kit Kat Club, Elks Club, or the Esquire Club? The answer? The Esquire Club. The Esquire Club. All right, so it was the Esquire Club. So that is our final question. So how did you do? It looks like our chat room did pretty good. Everybody in the chat room pretty much was getting it and did a good job. So thanks to everybody for playing along, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. That's always, these questions are supposed to be enjoyable. Now, I do have a set of questions that we'll be doing in the near future that was sent in by one of our listener viewers. I don't know if they listen or view it or which they do, but they sent it in. So if you have questions like that you'd like to submit to be part of this, feel free to send them in and we will use them. I just haven't gotten around to using them yet, but definitely send them in. All right, guys, that's really all I have for tonight. But for you that have all stuck around here to the end, here we are 30 something minutes into the podcast and you're still here. So you're loyal listeners or viewers of the podcast. So I want to get your opinion. As you probably know, if you listen to the podcast, I was in a movie called Mayberry Man that came out a year and a half ago, basically. And it's currently streaming on PureFlix. You can buy it on Amazon Prime Video. You can buy the DVD from Weavers. Anyway, I have been wanting to do some podcast episodes about the Mayberry Man, the movie, because I have all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, pictures that were taken, stories I could tell. I'd like to get in some of the cast members and talk to them. And granted, it is not the Andy Griffith Show, and it's not trying to remake the Andy Griffith Show, but it definitely has the feeling of the Andy Griffith Show. And I know if I weren't in the movie, and I had been able to go to the filming and be a part of it and take pictures and talk to the people, I would have definitely had it here on the podcast. But my concern is, I know when we were making the movie, there were people that were big Andy Griffith Show fans that did not like that we would be making a movie. You can't remake the Andy Griffith Show. Most of the people that complained, I think, never gave it a chance and didn't even read what it was actually about, or didn't know that it's not a remake. It's about people going to a festival that's a Mayberry festival, and the people like me were tribute artists that showed up as Floyd and Barney and Otis and the mayor and Gomer and Goober and all the other characters, Ernest T. And we were not supposed to be the original characters, and so it was not a remake. And so I would have done it because this is definitely Mayberry related. And one of the things here on the podcast is to talk about anything related to the Andy Griffith Show. So I know in this movie there are tons of references to the Andy Griffith Show and little nods. And I would love to go through and try to pick all those out and share them with you guys, because I think it's just going to be great. But I need to hear from you. I don't want to run you off. I don't want you to leave the podcast because I'm doing that. And if I get enough, I'd like for you to email me at floyd@imayberry.com and tell me yay or nay, because I'm bound to get more people going, no, that don't want me to. So if you really want me to, I need to hear that as well. But you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com and just say yes or no. And I'm not going to remember who tells me what. So, and I'm not going to take it personally. I just really want to know, because you're the ones that listen and view this podcast. And, I want you to have fun and be a part of it. I will let you see just an example of one of the things that I'm talking about. So these are from behind the scenes. Now in the movie, there's a scene where Barney and Floyd and Chris Stone are in the Mayberry squad car driving to go see a real Mayberry squad car. That's what happens in the movie. So we're driving and sitting there talking about, and driving there, and me and Barney start talking about, hey, Barney, Yeah, how come Ernest T's name is Ernest T. Bass? It's always Ernest T. It's not just Ernest Bass or Ernest. It's always Ernest T. Why? I've never known anybody with a first name and just an initial. People like Peggy Sue or Mary Ann or something like that, but never just a name and an initial. And so we get into this conversation and record, and that happens in the movie. So this is a behind the scenes shot of us sitting around the night we filmed this, before we filmed it, discussing it. It's me as Floyd, and Rick Roberts as Barney, and Chris Stone, of course, is Brett Varvel, there with us. So we were standing around just talking about that. This is not overly funny, but it's behind the scenes stuff that I think people would enjoy. So watch this. Then after the show, send me a note and let me know, is this the kind of thing you would enjoy seeing more of? So let me take you.
Folks, I guess the main reason we're here.
I don't think that's the right one. That's the VW boys. Click the wrong one. Here we
Darn
go.
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, what are you going to do?
So how far do you go?
I think it's right there after
R?
R.
Okay. All right, pick it up with, you're onto something.
Ooh, yeah, I just said yeah, ooh, yeah, you're on to something. Yeah, maybe his great-granddad. His granddad would have been Ernest R.
What are you guys talking about? Who cares? He's a character from a TV show. He's not real.
Family's real.
What?
I said family's real.
Come take a look. Yeah, this family, my family. I mean, a man ain't got much if he ain't got a family.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then we're gonna be happy again, because it's gonna be like I'm kind of hurt when you say it. We'll drag that out a little bit.
Yeah, long pause. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, long pause. Yeah, your family's real. I'll just mumble it. And then
Yeah.
what?
What?
I said family is real.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. And then when he starts talking, by the time he's finished, I'll be going.
Well, he's right. Family is real.
I'll be happy. And then the next one is like, maybe his great-great-grandpa would have been Ernest T.
There he goes all the way back.
Wait, yeah, went back 20 times or so. Ernest A. Yeah, that's it.
Could have been able.
So that's right, and that's supposed to be an overhead voiceover.
Oh my good heavens. So funny.
So that was us. Actually, we're just making up dialogue and stuff there at the end. But that was a lot of fun. And Brett was not a big Andy Griffith Show fan. He liked the Andy Griffith Show. He knew about the Andy Griffith Show. But he purposely, once he found out he was going to do the movie, decided he was not going to try to learn anything, because the character didn't know all this stuff. So he wanted to kind of experience it as he went along too. Again, he was aware of Andy Griffith Show and knew the characters, but he's not like me or you. And so this was just all fun to him as well. And yeah, that was supposed to be a voiceover that we were going, oh, wait, his great grandfather, like 20 times removed, could have been Ernest A. Bass, and that kind of stuff. As the car was driving, they ended up, I don't think they did that, but we definitely had a lot of fun recording it. So those are the kind of things I could show you pictures and tell you stories about, if it's something you'd be interested in. I do really value to hear your thoughts. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415. You can tell me that way as well if you'd like. Or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com. Floyd@imayberry.com. Let me know what you think. Would that kind of stuff be interesting to you? Because I want to do that, and I'm going to figure out a way to do it. But I would kind of like to do it here on the podcast, if that's something that you guys would enjoy. So, folks, thank you so much for spending time with me here in Mayberry and for just all that you do. I hope you've enjoyed seeing these great cast members singing and enjoying the fans. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you right back here on Two Chairs. Good night, guys.